What is up, guys? How you doing? I am Damien. Welcome to the Meet Damien channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Fibonacci sequence, the Fibonacci numbers, how to actually use the Fibonacci trading tool in Tradingview, and why using the Fibonacci is important for us as traders, what the key levels are to look out for on the Fibonacci trading tool, and why we want to use that, why we want to actually use the Fibonacci to find out the key entries and exits for our trades here, and how the Fibonacci tool is actually gonna help us figure this all out on Tradingview. Let's take a look at the charts here, guys. All right, so on Tradingview, okay, you're gonna want to go to the far left corner here, and on the third tool to the left here, you'll see the Fibonacci. You click on Fibonacci retracement, Fib retracement, and you'll see if you click on the on the tool here on the chart, you drag this to the right and to the bottom here, and you'll see the Fibonacci levels here. Now, when you look at the Fibonacci chart here, you're not going to get the same exact levels. I'm going to show you in the settings here how to get the golden pocket, but one of the most important levels here on the Fibonacci is the golden pocket. It's going to be between the 0.618 level and the 0.65 level. I have it marked here on my chart. The yellow level is 0.618. The orange level is the 0.65, or I just make it the golden pocket level here, and I put the golden color here. But on the settings here, you click over here, the settings button, and you'll see a bunch of numbers here and colors on your style for your chart. I like to add the 0.65 level in there. If it isn't in there, I would add that in there for you, and I put it as a color orange. You'll see most of these levels here, you should have the same kind of levels and numbers for your chart, but you might not have that 0.65 level. Just go ahead and put in that 0.65 level, the orange level there, and you'll then click OK, and you should have a Fibonacci toolkit that looks similar to what you have right here. Now, on the Fibonacci sequence, we have different levels here. We have the 0.786 level, the 0.65 level, the 0.618 level, the 0.5, the 0.382 level, the 0.236 level. These are all key levels here where you might get reversals, or you might see price trend to that level and then pause for a while before it decides to make a direction as to where it wants to go next. Okay, but I noticed that the 0.618 level and the 0.65 level is where the asset will normally go to. If you're in an uptrend, you might get rejected. If you're in a downtrend, you might get a reversal at that level. Then you might end up coming back down to that level, but usually in a downtrend, you'll see a reaction in this zone. So it's more like a zone than a certain level, but in between 0.618 level and the 0.65 level is the golden pocket zone or level that you want to be looking for. And of course, the 0.618 level is the golden ratio number. You guys can learn more about the Fibonacci sequence and numbers on Investopedia. If you click on Investopedia and type in Fibonacci, you'll see what the Fibonacci retracement levels are and what they can do for you. You can learn more about Fibonacci on Investopedia. I did not make up these numbers here. You'll see that the key percentage levels here are the 0.236, the 0.382, the 0.5, the 0.618, and the 0.786 level. Okay, getting back over to the charts here. Okay, I'm going to show you how this Fibonacci is put into good use on an asset that I like to trade with, and that would be Bitcoin. Okay, and I'll show you how we actually do Fibonacci on Bitcoin. Okay, let me go ahead and get rid of this. So, looking at the price of Bitcoin, All right, back here in December, we saw Bitcoin get up to like $108,000, $109,000 in that area. Okay, um, and then of course we've seen it trend down after that, where it bottomed out here in April. Right, but for those who want to actually use Fibonacci in their trading here, this is what the Fibonacci would have done for you in December of 2024. You would have measured the top here at like $108,000 Bitcoin, and you bring this down to the last swing low, which was right here, about $67,000 Bitcoin. Okay, and it gives you these numbers to look for here. You can see that after Bitcoin topped out at $108,000, okay, it came down, all right, to that golden pocket level that we were looking for, anywhere between $92,000 and $93,000 Bitcoin. All right, the 0.618 said that $92,500 Bitcoin was the 0.618 level, and $93,873 was the 0.65 level. Okay, and we used that level for support for the most part before we came back up, retested those highs again, and then we came right back to that golden pocket level one more time here before we finally lost it and came down, okay, to lower levels on the Fibonacci levels. We had a deeper retracement at 0.236 level, $76,000, okay? Now, the Bitcoin price, it did go a little bit lower than $76,000, okay? It actually came down, I believe, let's see, right here is showing that Bitcoin came down to $74,000. That can happen, okay? Now, one of the tricks that I want to teach my viewers here is that on a large time frame, like the daily time frame, okay, you're not the only one that is looking at the Fibonacci levels here. There are other professional traders and investors and large institutions. Some people call them the whales, okay? The Bitcoin whales, the crypto whales, they are also using Fibonacci as well to make their investment decisions, and they like to play a little bit of games on the higher time frame here. They know that there are longs at this area that are looking for that 0.236 retracement, and what they'll do is they'll flush out the longs and send the price just a little bit lower and get the price a little bit cheaper by shorting the price at that 0.236 level. And that's why you end up getting, the price coming down to like $74,000 Bitcoin, even though the 0.236 level should have been where we should have got support. Sometimes it overshoots based on, the games that some of these whales play out there. Okay. And yeah, just keep that in mind, that you're not the only person that's going to be using Fibonacci as a part of your toolkit here. Another reason why the levels might not get totally respected is it depends on where you actually drew your Fibonacci. Okay. It's a little bit subjective. That's why it's not a one, this is not a one answer, this fits all, trades, right? Sometimes you might have someone that measured out their Fibonacci a little bit lower than what you did on your swing low, okay? And you might have, right, what you thought was your 0.236 level might be somebody else's 0.382 level here. Okay, in this case, the 0.382 level, if I measure it down to this low here, the 0.382 levels was saying that $78,000 Bitcoin, right, was the level to be looking out for. And then their 0.236 would have been $70,000 Bitcoin, okay? So there is a little bit of subjectivity in the Fibonacci. Doesn't mean that it's completely useless. There are reasons why we use this tool, because it is pretty useful to figure out where the price might get a reaction and where the lows might be. I would suggest that you do not just use Fibonacci, right, as your only tool when you're trading. You should be using other tools like the VRVP, like the moving averages, to figure out where you might get a reaction and get some confluence in your numbers here. Now, if I turn on this other tool, the VRVP, I know this is supposed to be a Fibonacci video, but you want to be able to see if you can get some support and some backup with these numbers here, okay? And looking at Bitcoin, right, and what it's done, right, we had a high volume node here on the VRVP that said that $76,000 Bitcoin should get some support, okay? And that is like right where this 0.382 Fibonacci level's at, okay? Also, even if you did not use the VRVP or don't know what the VRVP is used for, okay, or how to use it, you could also just eyeball here on the chart that you had some sideways trading price action here at $76,000 Bitcoin. That's probably going to be an area of support, which is right next to this 0.382 level here. Okay, so you can just game plan that if you're trying to enter a long on Bitcoin, that you could try to buy some at $76,000 to $78,000. And that's what some of these traders did back here in March. They were scooping up Bitcoin between $76,000 and $78,000 because they saw that Fibonacci sequence number 0.382, and also they saw some sideways trading price action at this level. And if they were using VRVP to like figure out where the high volume nodes were at, they would have seen that there was a high volume node here at $76,000, and that was a good area to be scooping up some cheaper Bitcoin. Okay, now going forward, right, using a smaller time frame. Okay, give me a second as I adjust this chart here. Using a smaller time frames, right? How would you actually figure out Fibonacci and what to use it for? Okay, if I'm on the 15-minute time frame here for Bitcoin, I can do another Fibonacci, right? Measuring from the swing high here down to the swing low, okay? And you can see that the price, right? It actually respects some of these levels here, okay? All right, as we came down, right? We came down to this golden pocket, which was acting as support for the most part, right? We actually came down further and down into the golden pocket, past the golden pocket to the 0.5 level here at 106,272 before we came right back into that golden pocket. And traders that were seeing this, they would have started selling their Bitcoin as we came into this golden pocket. And we also got rejected off that 0.786 level here before we came right back into the golden pocket one more time, lost it, and then came down to further levels here. Okay, now you can still use this Fibonacci tool here because as you can see, if I was to extend the lines to the right, which I'm going to do for you right now, I click extend lines to the right here, okay, you can still use this swing low than this swing high to trade off of, right? You know that, Bitcoin at $103,000 is a good area to be buying because that's the swing low. However, when do you start selling? You could start selling when you get to the 0.236 retracement level, right, at $104,800 Bitcoin, right? Or you could push the trade a little bit further and try to sell at the 0.382 level here at $105,600 Bitcoin, which you can see got respected very well, okay? And then we came back and, looks like we're still using 0.236 as support, but also traders are using that to sell and bring it back down to $103,500 Bitcoin. And we're probably going to keep on using this 0.236 level as an area of resistance until we're able to flip this 0.236 level into support and start coming back to higher prices. And if you're still in this trade on Bitcoin, you might want to consider selling your Bitcoin at $106,900 or $107,000, which is where the golden pocket number is, because there's no guarantee that we're going to go higher than that, and this could be where you could get a lower high on Bitcoin. Okay, that's if you're using the smaller time frames. That's if you're using Fibonacci levels here. Okay, however, right, just game planning this out, there are ways to figure out how high Bitcoin can go if we get past the swing high here. Okay, there are other levels here on the Fibonacci, like the 1618, which is a Fibonacci extension level. And this can help you game plan where the price is going to go, right? If you're in a breakout price discovery mode here, where Bitcoin, I don't believe Bitcoin has been up to $112,400 yet, okay? But this is saying that 1618 level is saying that Bitcoin could come up to $112,450 just using this Fibonacci tool that we're using right now, okay? And then if you plan on staying in the trade a little bit longer and you want to push the trade to higher prices, there is a 2618 saying that Bitcoin could get up to $117,980. And then there's a 3618 saying that Bitcoin could get up to $123,500. And these are your fib extension levels here, okay? Which are also useful when you're in price discovery mode and you're pretty much at prices where you don't know where the price would go next because it's never been this high before, okay? So fib extension levels can be useful as well. Now, if you're trying to short the asset here, okay, then you have to do things a little bit differently here on your Fibonacci retracement. You would have to measure from the swing low to the swing high, okay, in this case $108,000, $109,000 Bitcoin, and you can figure out where the price might go if we start losing the lows here that we're creating at $103,000 Bitcoin. You can figure out where the price might go to the downside and come up with some short selling targets, some bearish targets here. And in this case, the fib extension level is now saying that Bitcoin could come down to $100,000, which makes sense because that's a psychological level. I would expect that level to at least get defended in the short term before you go down to lower prices. And if the price continues going further than that to the downside, then you have a 2618 saying that Bitcoin could come down to 94,492. And of course, right, we don't want to just use the Fibonacci tool by itself. We would probably, zooming out here, right, we would probably use something like the moving averages to confirm, right, where price could come down to most likely. And in this case, if we're still using the Fibonacci tool and we're using the fib extensions and we're short selling Bitcoin, you do have your 2618 that says that Bitcoin could come down to $94,000. And then using the moving averages here, you can see, right, the moving averages, this 200-day moving average is sitting at $95,000. The 50-day moving average is sitting at $94,000, and the 100-day moving average is sitting at $95,000. So there's a good likelihood that you could short sell this asset, Bitcoin, all the way down to $94,000, $95,000 and make that a take profit target because you have a Fibonacci extension level that's saying that you could get down to that level. And you also have a moving average, a few moving averages here. You have the 50, 100, and 200-day moving average that says that the price of Bitcoin could come down to this level, right? And that is how I would game plan a short if I was using the Fibonacci, okay? Guys, if you enjoyed this video and this analysis, and you want to learn more about the VRVP indicator, which I did show briefly here, these are these green and red bars to the right. There are other videos that I have made on this Meet Damien channel that explains what is the VRVP indicator, and also explains how to read candlestick charts and other indicators here. I suggest you guys come on to the Meet Damien YouTube channel here, okay? And you will see, there's me right there, but you will see some of my other videos here that explain how to use the volume range visual profile, the VRVP indicator, and you'll also see other videos here like how to read a candlestick chart and how to read the RSI, the MACD, and the stochastic RSI. And if you guys are on TikTok, you guys will be able to find me on TikTok as well on the Meet Damien channel, where you'll also see a lot of my short form content here. And you'll also see me put up some videos here like the volume range visual profile indicator that I've did. When I get a chance, I try to put it up on here as well on my TikTok. Okay, but you'll find a lot of my videos here on the Meet Damien channel, and you'll also find me on TikTok and YouTube. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And if you're one of my TikTok guys here, don't forget to hit the follow button so you can stay in tune on how to trade better and how to use some of these indicators here and some of these tools, such as the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, take care, guys. I'll see you on hopefully one of my live streams, and I'll see you on some of my other videos here. Take care, guys.